All right, I think we can get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Training Tuesdays. um, yeah, thank you for being here. Much appreciate it. I haven't done one of these in a little while, so it is fantastic to be doing it again. Can I ask if any of my colleagues on the line, they can just keep an eye on the lobby and let anybody else in? Much appreciated. And we can get started. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Jeff, part of the customer success team. Yeah, I hopefully am not about to crash teams. Um, I really love doing this sort of thing. It's great to work with our customers and kind of share these little training sessions with you, help you any way we can. Yeah, it's really, really fun to do, and it's just great to help you guys out with these sorts of things. But we want to make this really as valuable for you guys as we can. So please do keep giving us feedback. Thank you for those who have in the past. It's really valuable. And please keep letting us know what else you want to see on these sessions. I got a little slide of resources. So if I can grab that link for the chat, it's a bit pain to type in. Chat, here we are. So if you are new to this series, then hello and welcome. It's fantastic to have you with us. And welcome to the family of Training Tuesdays. If you're a new Tikit customer, then double welcome to you. Welcome to the family of Tikit. On the link there that's on the screen, and I'll put it in the chat, is to a knowledge article all about this series. It's got the agenda, the list of sessions we've done and are coming up. And there's a link to the recording for all the previous ones. So if you missed any, or you want to recap, or say if you're new, you want to go and binge the lot, then please feel free to do so. Today we are talking all about multi-department, and I've got a little agenda here, quite simple, and this agenda really is the bulk of my slides. So we will keep it slide light, and then we're going to get into a demo. Well, the good news is we've already done one thing. Welcome. Said welcome enough time to think. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Multi-department. So yeah, that's what we're here to talk about today. It's a really sort of favorite feature of all of us here at Tikit, just because it really brings so much value and so much depth to the product. So what is multi-department? And then I've sort of, apologies for anyone whose English is not first language, because I've used very bad English here, using multi-department as a verb. So why multi-department and how to multi-department? Why do we do it and how do we do it? Is what I want to get into today. And as always, we will have time at the end for some questions, if any come up. If you do have them throughout, then please interrupt me. I'm used to it. I've got young children. But if you want to throw them in the chat instead, that's also fine, or hold them to the end. We'll make sure there's time. So what is multi-department? So it's a feature in the higher plans of Tikit, where you can deploy Tikit not just to one team within your organization, but to many teams. A lot of our customers tend to start by deploying Tikit to their IT team. We call it an ITSM tool, an IT service management tool. That's how we sort of envisioned the product, but it's become so much more than that. And we have customers who don't use it for IT; they use it for another department, primarily in the organization, to manage work. Every department's getting inquiries. They need to manage those, need to assign those, need to track those. So the theory applies everywhere. But as they mostly start with IT, but then they realize that, well, for all those same reasons why it made so much sense for IT and brought so much value to IT, it could work for another department in our organization. So we're sort of treading on the toes of why Why multi-department? Well, I've just mentioned one reason, really, sort of bringing that same value to another department, realizing that rather than having separate tools across different teams, all managing their workload separately, let's have a single tool that saves us money because we're only investing in one product. That makes administration easier, and because we're administering one product and maintaining it, and all the kind of administration of vendor management and invoicing, all that is rolled into one. And the biggest reason we're going to sort of see in a minute is really because then you can start to actually collaborate as well. So then you've not got teams sitting separately, managing work separately, but you can have single items that flow around and touch multiple departments. Because let's face it, no one department in an organization is a silo. Lots of processes we have, roll across 2 or even more departments, and we need to work together to kind of fulfill those requests or solve those problems. And Tikit allows us to do that really well. And how? We're going to save that one for the demo. So I'll get to that one. All right. I promise you not many slides. I do have one more before we get to the demo. And I call this the stages of multi-department. So level 1, as I said, where we all start, thinking about, one team, one department. Not everyone absolutely starts here in an actual implementation point of view, but everyone starts here kind of process-wise and how they think about deploying Tikit. A single department using Tikit. That's where we all start in the thought process, at least. And it's where a lot of our customers start. In reality, they deploy Tikit to one team, they use it, as I say, it's typically IT, and they get a lot of value out of it, and we love it, and we love working with you guys. Then we get to level 2. So then our customers start to get to level 2, where they're getting the hang of Tikit, and they're making that realization, Tikit's great for IT, it's adding a lot of value, it's saving us time, it's great for our end users to be able to have a single place to come to contact. All those reasons apply to another department, and they think about adding a separate department to Tikit. I say our most common starting place is IT. Our most common second team is HR. Very similar in that regard of people need stuff from HR. They have problems, around HR with their pay or with their benefits or all the kind of things HR have to deal with. And they need these things solved, or they have these requests they need fulfilled. So very similar kind of approach. So we see a lot of people adding HR in as a second department and get all those same values, all those same reasons why it made sense, make sense again. Then we've got level 3, and this is really that final point of my why, is around that collaboration. So when you get to level 3, I've called that level crushing it, because you're really just smashing Tikit and doing it well is when you're building processes that cross departments, and that brings you that efficiency, that brings you that collaboration, reduces all the kind of communication back and forth with other departments. All that communication can happen within Tikit. It's all captured as well. Really good for robust process, really good for auditing of processes and what happened, and really good for just streamlining steps that need to happen across multiple departments. And that's where we see customers get to. They go on this little journey, 1, 2, 3. And when they get to level 3, they see all those really great benefits. All right, that is it for slides. Let's jump into a little bit of demo. All right, hopefully you are seeing my screen with Teams open. Anyone confirm? Yeah, thank you. I'll start in Teams because I want to show you, like I'm sure you have as well, though you may not have access to them all. You're going to have lots of teams across different departments and functions within your organization setup. I'm logged in an account that's got access to everything just so you can see it. And as I said, I've got sort of a typical setup here where I've got IT, as we can see. I've also got accounting, HR, marketing, office management, buildings, facilities, whatever you call that function within your org. Is another really good one that we see people using in Ticket. Again, same thing, same reasons apply. People requesting stuff, people have problems with stuff that needs fixing. So yeah, I've got these 5 here in my example. And then in a team sense, each of these teams have a number of channels. I've got a very simple setup here. My IT function has 3 channels, which we map to groups within Ticket. So these are my kind of 3 sub groups within my IT team. My other teams, they don't have breakdown like that. And sometimes that makes sense to kind of start them simple as well as you deploy to another department. If they've been working, typically they've been working before Ticket in a shared mailbox or something very rudimentary. And they're not going to have the idea of different teams and passing it around. So you can start simple if you need to. I've just given each of them a tickets channel where they're going to work their tickets as one group. On the ticket side, once we've got some teams in teams, which you probably already have, we can configure those in the settings, in teams. And there we go. I've got a team added within Ticket for each of my Microsoft teams. And inside them, if I just pick HR as an example, you see that it's mapped to the teams team like that. Just going to go back a screen actually because I want to show you that you can also have a mailbox. We're not really going to talk about email too much today, but you can have a mailbox per department, per team. So that I've got these different these are shared mailboxes. They could be user mailboxes or shared mailboxes tied to them. So if we email those directly, we're going to create tickets directly to those departments assigned to those teams within Ticket. So I can log a ticket and I can assign it to any of these teams who needs to work on it. So let's do that. As a quick example, I'm just going to add a new ticket with the new add ticket button. And I need to request a credit card. I'm going to go on a shopping spree. As well as filling in the various other bits of information. I'm going to put a requester in. When we come to assign it, I'm going to take out IT, which is my default team, and change that to accounting. And now when I create that ticket, it's going to be assigned directly to the accounting team. So when I'm logging a ticket manually, I've got full control over where it goes, which of these departments, which of these teams it gets assigned to. That's if you're going to go and create tickets manually. Same thing works through TVA, through our virtual agent. So I'm going to go to my SandyBot virtual agent. And I'm going to do the same request. I need to request a credit card. Now, if you've been following this series a while, I can't remember how many ago. In fact, I do believe it was my very first session I did about knowledge and responses. And I think we've touched on it a number of times since. But I've purposely not got a knowledge response to this request. When I request that off the bot, I'm going to get the generic new ticket process because I've not created a knowledge. I've not created a process for that. But just to show you, and that when you get that experience, we get this, where should I send this request? Again, your end user, when they're using the virtual agent, they can choose which of those teams, which of those departments are going to receive that ticket. And I'm going to go again, pick accounting in this case to send it straight through. So same sort of concept applies. This is from the end user point of view when they're requesting something. Even if we get a completely unknown question that we don't have a knowledge or template response for, we ask our user the question, where should this go? And they get the chance to send it directly to the right team to avoid extra steps and extra triage. This is a setting, by the way, it does need turning on. So I'm going to show you that really quickly. I'm going to go back to Ticket in the web. come out of here and back into settings. And in your bot configuration, you scroll down a bit. I'll come back to the help card. That's my second point here. This heading here under multi-department, I've got the multi-department picker. Turning that on will mean that when you get that generic new ticket response, then you're going to get that option of which department to send it to. And you can even control the question that gets asked on that card. You've seen my sneak preview of the help card there, but let me show you that example. Again, I believe we had a session on this previously in the series, but if end user types help to the virtual agent at any point, then they get the help card. And this is fully configurable. You can entirely control the text and the layout of this card. And what I've done here is I've kind of reflected my multi-department experience into the help card as well. So it's that same kind of idea throughout the experience for the end user. And I've got each of my departments represented with the kind of top requests for each. And our users can click on these to kind of shortcut their way through to those particular requests, as you can see here. Also got on the end of each line, there's just a generic submit a ticket, submit a accounting, IT, HR ticket, and so on, as you can see. And that all that does is it gives them back to that new ticket experience, but the correct department is already selected for them as well. So again, go back and watch the session on help card, but that is also configured under bot configuration. There you can see is where I built up my help card. And when you create these buttons, you control, you know, which processes they are or which departments they are being tied to. That's fully kind of configurable. You've got full control of that as you build your help card. If I pick, excuse me, if I pick an existing ticket, if I've got something relevant, probably not. I just want to show you as well that we can obviously reassign. So this one is currently assigned to IT, as you can see, to the tier 1 group. Well, at any point, just like any other property, I can change the team to HR, and the group goes to their tickets group now by default. So you can reassign tickets from one to the other. So if it gets logged to the wrong place, the end user picks the wrong thing, I mean, we can't expect them to get it right every time. A simple list of 5 options, or anything like that, then we can reassign tickets. Now, when we do that, we are fully respecting the security of those different departments. So in the past, sometimes there's been concern over bringing another department in to the same tool as IT because of this idea of, well, then they can see everyone, you know, everyone in IT can see the HR tickets or vice versa. And then particularly with HR, there could be some information there that shouldn't be visible to everybody or to anybody outside of HR. So there's a lot of concern about how that works. Well, Tikit fully respects those permission boundaries, and it's all built off the Teams kind of structure. So just like in Teams itself, where only people in the HR team can access and see this team and see the chats and the files and so within it, then the tickets respect exactly that. So by controlling the members of this team, we are controlling who can see the tickets assigned to that team. So it works in the exact same way. And when we reassign something, like I was just doing here in the example, it respects all that. So now, and I've hit save, that is not going to be visible to anybody who's in the IT team unless they happen to also be in the HR team, because you can be in multiple teams. Again, it respects all that as needed. Okay. And then my last example here is, so that's sort of the level 2 scenario I was talking about, right? Where we've got multiple departments. I've got 5, in fact. So I've really gone high on level 2, but I'm not yet at level 3. Still level 2 because I'm just really treating those as separate things, work independently of each other. Yeah, I've done a reassignment, but you know, I said that's because it was logged incorrectly kind of scenario. Well, level 3 is when we're really starting to collaborate and we're passing a single ticket between, or even on a single ticket, multiple teams involved. And that's really that collaborative approach where we're really working together. So my final example for my final trick, let's have a look at that one. So I'm going to go with a new example here, and that is that I need to move my office. So that jumps me into the employee transfer request. So whether it be for me or somebody else, I can fill this in. I obviously made a very simple example here. You'd fill out a few more fields, no doubt, in your employee transfer request of what's going on. So real simple. I'm moving Fred logs to the building 42. Okay, so that's filled in, and that's going to generate me ticket number 74, as we can see here. And that ticket's got a life cycle attached to it. And again, I'm hitting on a lot of buzzwords today, but there's another session on life cycles a while ago. Lots of stuff going on here. So yeah, there's a session on life cycles a number of weeks ago. So go back and watch that one if you're not sure quite what life cycles are, how they work. In a sentence, it is a multi-phase process that walks me through ticket end to end. The first phase of this ticket is an approval, and you can see that's already gone straight to me. I've kept it containerized to me just for the sake of this demo. We probably do a line manager approval. Maybe somebody kind of high up would approve all transfers depending on your organization. This comes straight through to me in TVA to approve. Now let's just go and have a look at this ticket in the web just so we can see that life cycle. So let's go back to tickets. Here it is, ticket number 74. And we can see it's part of the employee transfer request lifecycle, and we're in that approval phase there. So let's get it approved, and then we'll jump to the next phase. Let's hope. So I'm going to go back to TVA for this and approve that. And that's going to get approved for me. So that's going to complete that first phase. So that's me and IT proving it. But now let's start to kick into our next department. So let's have a look at that ticket in a bit more detail. And we'll see that it's actually assigned to HR because HR are the kind of process owners of employee transfer. They're the owner of kind of employees and people. It's assigned to their tickets group. And the after the approval, then we're going to be into our second. You see, we're already into the second phase here for HR tasks. So we're assigned to HR, and we've got some HR tasks to complete for our employee transfer. Again, I've got a nice simple example here, but I've got a couple of things to do. First one is to update the HR system with the new location. Very important. And secondly is to confirm that payroll is configured correctly. That's actually more important, of course. We want to make sure that our employees are getting paid, and if there's any kind of changes need to be made because they've moved, maybe if it's international move or something like that, there would definitely be some changes to be made. Then that needs sorting as well. So these are assigned to Lillian, who is a member of the HR team. The ticket is assigned to HR, and everything's going to work through. So let's get these done. Lillian would. Oh, let me jump actually over to Lillian. Sorry, I'm just going to hop over to here where I'm logged in as Lillian, our HR manager. So let's go back to ticket here, and there we are. This makes more sense. So here we see those two tasks. So let's get those completed. And then what we'll see is we're going to jump to the next phase, which is to reassign that ticket to IT. So now we get to the idea of that collaboration. We're asking Lillian to now reassign the ticket to our IT department. So they're now the owners of the ticket for the rest of the process. So we're actually transferring that ownership midway through the life cycle of this ticket. Now, this is a manual task, very simple to do. You could look to automate this. If you want to see more on that, go and look at the Power Automate tasks session from a couple of weeks back as well. So if this is your first session, then you need to basically go back and watch the lot, because I think I've mentioned them all by now. But that just shows you how well the features of Tikit all link together. So what Lillian would do is come in here and change that team to IT as requested by that task. And then Lillian can, oh, we can't do that one yet because it's not registering as it's ready. Let's just go back to tickets and come back to it. Now we're ready to mark that one as complete as well. And finally, you get the idea, just we're running out of time. You get the idea. If we were to jump back to where I'm logged in as Jeff, let me go back to tickets. Here we go to my work to show you that that's now reassigned to the team here. And we could go and click that last phase, which is the IT tasks. And again, just because an employee move very much features IT and HR, we've got some IT tasks to do there as well. And again, it's a simple example. You could build that out. In the real world, that could touch a third department of buildings management as well, maybe even 4 or 5 for these complex processes.
And it's very easy. It's actually very easy to edit life cycles and do everything you need to do with the life cycle. So that's just kudos to you guys.
Thanks. Yeah, great. Well, you can come to the next session, Karim, because it's very easy. So no, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, look, we've got 1 minute. Sorry, I've talked too much. I've just seen the chat. There's a comment about administrators can see your tickets. Yes, that's correct. Just to be clear, I talked about the segregation of tickets. Application admins will see all tickets if you're a ticket admin. Something to be aware of. Thank you for calling that out. Are there any other questions? All right. Well, I will say thank you very much for joining us today and look forward to seeing you guys soon. Please, any feedback, contact the Tikit team, help@tikit.ai. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Bye, everyone.